Great. Okay. All right. So just welcoming everybody again. Thank you all for joining us. Maori, Bula, Malo, Talofa Lava, welcome. And in any other language I might have missed, thank you for joining us today. So this is the information session for the Pacific Greenpreneurs Incubator Program for 2023. We're very happy to have you with us. So the session will be go on for about an hour and will be run by myself and Esther Bates, the program manager for the Pacific Green Entrepreneurs Network, and my colleague Rishika. Just a little bit of housekeeping, or just to mention, yes, we are also live streaming this on Facebook, and we're recording the session, and you'll get a copy of the recording after. So if you drop out or if you've missed a bit of the program, then don't worry about it. Okay, so I'll just take you through very briefly on the agenda. This is currently the welcome and the housekeeping. So please, as mentioned before, if you've just joined us, please keep yourself on mute during the session until the end. There'll be some chance for question and answers. But please do, as any questions pop up for you during the session, then please use the chat function and we'll get to it at the end. So today we'll be covering a bit of an overview of PGen, which I'll take you through, then some more details on the incubator program itself and particularly how to apply. Actually, we'll also be hearing, which will be really great to hear from a couple of our Greenpreneurs alumni who've been kind enough to join us today, and then we'll have some time for Q&A. So we hope to keep it all within 1 hour. It may possibly run over a little bit, and if so, then please do bear with us. Okay, so just very briefly to start with, a little bit about GGGI. We can go to the next slide, please. So if you're not familiar with the Global Green Growth Institute, or GGGI, we are focused on green growth as our name. So our vision is to achieve a low carbon, resilient world for strong, inclusive and sustainable growth. We are an international organization based out of Korea. So similar to the UN structure, although we're quite new, we've been around for about 10 years, and we have 45 member countries, including 5 in the Pacific region, which are Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, Tonga, and Vanuatu. Sorry, not Samoa yet. Sorry, we're hoping Samoa will join us soon. Kiribati is the 5th one. And so we have currently, we have programs across the world. Excellent. So just a little bit of an overview on PGen, or the Pacific Green Entrepreneurs Network, on the next slide, please. So we're here to talk about the incubator program, which my colleague Rishika will take us through a little bit later. But there are actually 3 sort of major pillars to the program that we run. So it's a network. And we run the Pacific Greenpreneurs Incubator Program, focused on early stage green businesses. And we also support growth stage, larger and more established businesses through the Accelerator Program, which is also a Pacific Greenpreneurs Program. And then we also do some support on the regional entrepreneurship ecosystem, such as knowledge sharing, knowledge building and working with institutions. So before we get any further, let's go into what do we mean by green businesses or green entrepreneurs. So I think, I know a number of you on this call today, which is wonderful. And I think you'll be aware, but just because it's a new area and many people ask us, what do we mean by green businesses? So basically our definition as GGGI is a green business is any kind of purpose-driven enterprise that is addressing social or environmental issues while generating income. So it could be a business focused on, environmental change or impact, trying to address impacts of climate change in some areas, or it could be trying to address community, issues in some rural or remote communities, or other social issues as well. So basically some examples of that, because that's quite broad, right? So that could be meanings that something like the products or services that businesses offer, could be providing green alternatives to common products, like, for example, reusing waste into new products like household furniture or construction, or offering green alternatives to products like reusable nappies or shopping bags. Or it could be something like offering sustainable tourism that is low impact to the environment and allowing conservation to happen at the time. Or it could be a green business could be investing the money it makes, could be, for example, a cafe that invests profit into improving the environment, such as mangrove planting or something like that, or creating jobs for disadvantaged groups, such as rural or remote community livelihoods or youth or women. So it's very broad. Okay, so a little bit more about the 3 pillars. Let's start with the entrepreneurship ecosystem. So strong networks, I mean, we're called the Pacific Green Entrepreneur Network because we believe in the power of networks, particularly in the Pacific region. You know, we have this culture of talanoa and sharing, and the culture is strong. And I think the knowledge sharing aspects of networks are really important. So we try to provide opportunities for connections between partners, between mentors, investors, and policymakers, so that we can have an ecosystem, or basically a platform that allows entrepreneurship to flourish in the Pacific region. And we're excited to work with a number of really great local and regional business support organizations and other organizations working in the space. So next is the Accelerator Program. Okay, so on the Accelerator Program, we've just been very excited to launch that earlier this week, finally kicking that off. So we're working with, as mentioned, with larger scale or more established green businesses who have high growth potential. Some of those are graduates from our previous incubator program. Some of those are new to us, and we're excited to work with them. There's 25 businesses who we're currently working with to provide some tailored coaching and business advisory support, as well as networking and learning opportunities and opportunities to pitch to investors. And of course, we're also able to provide, we're grateful to be able to provide up to $50,000 US in repayable grant funding, or effectively zero interest loans for these larger businesses. And the incubator program, I'm only just going to touch on extremely briefly, because we'll go into that in more detail shortly with my colleague Rashika taking us through it. But just to mention, this will be the 3rd time that we're running the program. We have run a program in 2021 and 2022. And this year we're aiming to reach about 120 entrepreneurs through the program across the 6 countries we're running the program in. So that's between 10 and 20 green businesses for each of the 6 countries we're working in, which is Fiji, Kiribati, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, Tonga, and Vanuatu. So if you're a green business in one of those countries, or if you know green businesses in those countries, then please share this information. And I'd like now, if we can I stop talking for a minute, and if I could ask Rashika to share a brief video to just give you a bit of a flavor of the program. So this is a video that we made last year, but it's similar structure to what we planned for this year as well. And just when we can move to the next slide, but just share like I'll keep quiet shortly. I'll pass over to my colleague Rishika, but I'd just like to mention some of the, would like to hear from some of the wonderful businesses in the program shortly. But just to mention, overall, we're very proud to have been able to have the opportunity basically to support close to 150 green businesses so far in the 2 years of the incubator program across the 6 countries. And through this, we have been able to support 100 businesses to graduate out of the program. And so out of the almost 150 enterprises, nearly 2/3 have been women-led or co-led businesses, and 60% have been youth-led businesses, which is wonderful. Youth and women are our targets because you guys are the future. We, of course, appreciate other businesses too. And we have been able to provide 40 seed grants of US $5,000 each to the winners of the business plan competition, which we'll hear a little bit more from Rishika about later. So in total, we've got $200,000 US that has been awarded. Excellent. Okay, so with that, I'd love to, well, just before I hand over to Rishika, I would just mention that I think I forgot to mention earlier, this whole program is made possible by the support from our donor, which is the Qatar Fund for Development, and they've been really great supporters of the program and really believe in the future of climate action in the Pacific region being led by wonderful startups and ideas from the region. So we're grateful to work with them. And with that, I'll hand over to Rishika to take us through the next slides. Sorry, Rishika, we can't hear you. Sorry, it seems like we're having a bit of technical difficulties. Oh, try speaking, Rishika. That's the nature of virtual programs. We tested this right before and it was all working fine. Maybe just while Rishika tries to get everything set up, I'll just, so on the screen you can see some wonderful happy snaps of the graduation events that we held in each of the countries just basically last month. I can't believe it was just a month ago. So in each of the countries, we were able to have a graduation event to celebrate the achievements of the incubator participants. And we'll be hearing from a couple of them shortly, once we can get Rishika back online. Okay, I think they're still having some technical issues over that side. So I'm perhaps just going to see if after we were planning to hear from a couple of our wonderful alumni from the program. So perhaps if I could invite Arthur from Tonga, would you be able to share with us your reflections on participating in the program and share with us some thoughts from your side?
No problem, SF, thanks for having me. So I joined the incubator program last year, the second half of last year. The incubator program was actually really great for someone starting out like myself. I learned a lot about the vision, mission, and just basically how to approach things from a business side. So, and Triple GI, they also provide you with mentors, which I thought was probably one of the most beneficial aspects of the program, because I got matched with a mentor of mine that actually gave me a lot of inspiration in moving forward and helped me clarify what my business should be about. Yeah, without that clarity, I would have been quite lost. So he provided me with a lot of direction and a lot of the financial side. So planning, like, what are your projections? How much are you going to be making? How should you charge? Should it be charge by looking at your competitors, or should it be value? Or should it be value driven? So just a lot of things that that I was just unsure of became very clear in joining this program. So yeah, I definitely encourage anyone who's starting out and anyone who wants to set up a business to definitely give this a try. And the prize money isn't too bad either. So yeah, thank you.
Marlo, Arthur, thanks so much for joining us and sharing your reflections. And, we're very glad that the program has been beneficial to you. And also, you are one of our really inspiring entrepreneurs. So, this is the reason why we love to do what we're doing, is because we get to work with really great, inspiring people like yourselves. Awesome. And I think we also have Cynthia with us from Fiji. Maybe Cynthia, you're there, would you be able to share some thoughts as well on your experience with the program? She was just online. I think she might have dropped off, unfortunately. Okay. Well, maybe what we could do is come back to her a bit later if she's able to rejoin. Okay. Well, awesome. Okay. Well, perhaps what we can do is just move on for now. So it looks like there's still some audio issues with Rishika, unfortunately. So I will, you'll hear from me some more. So you're stuck with me. But yeah, if we can, yeah, it's very strange. But yeah, if you could move on to the next slide, please. Yeah, and the next one, please. Okay, great. Awesome. So here, a little bit more detail on the incubator program. So, which I assume all of you guys here who join us, you're interested in. And if you're not, if you want to share it with other people, if it's not right for you, but if it's right for others, please do so. Please do share with them. So yeah, so there are many great, people with great business ideas out there who've already started businesses, who are thinking of really innovative ideas to make a positive difference in the Pacific. Sorry, if I could just remind people could mute. Okay, great. Thank you. Awesome. So, and these are the people, we're looking to work with you. So the Pacific Greenpreneurs Incubator Program is a free 4-month training and mentoring program designed to support green entrepreneurs so that they can build robust and sustainable business models and develop the skills and tools and confidence that you need to help you to grow and to succeed in your business. So what we do is we start with a kickoff and also an orientation and a kickoff workshop at the country level. So we have a 2-day in-person kickoff workshop within each country. And you get a chance to sort of deep dive and focus on your business, meet other like-minded entrepreneurs, and hopefully also mentors as well from your country, and get to, network and get to know each other a little bit, as well as your country level country coaches. So we then run a lot of the subsequent training is done virtually in a weekly online training, which is done at a regional level, which also gives you an opportunity to meet and get to know businesses who might be working in similar areas as you across the region. And we've seen lots of great knowledge sharing and collaboration happening between different people from different countries as well. Yeah, and we also have, to support the virtual training, which is online webinars, which include guest speakers. And I think that's a great highlight as we bring in guest speakers from the region to share their journeys and their challenges on specific topics. And the training will help you to develop basically your sustainable green enterprise plan. We have an online training portal, which will be required to do online exercises, submissions, which help you to develop that plan as well. The program is also supported by, so you'll be doing work online, but you'll also have support from a coach at the local level. So, for example, if you're in Fiji, we have a Fiji coach who'll be working with you, to talk you through and help you to develop your and give you feedback and help you to develop your plan. And there'll also be some group coaching sessions where you can also learn from your peers at a country level too. We also have a mentorship as well. So where we connect you to, based on your business and your country, we assign you to a mentor who can act as a bit of a sounding board to guide you through the program and give you a bit of advice and help you to make some connections as they can. And networking is an important aspect of the program. I think I mentioned that earlier already. And we also have an opportunity for a business showcase. So you get to not only to connect with other green entrepreneurs within the program, which in itself is really amazing, but we also provide opportunities for you to meet with other important players in the region. So for example, at the graduation events that you saw the photos of, we have also, you can showcase your business and your products and with the other guests who are there and build your visibility and get to make great connections as well. And lastly, the business plan competition, which is of course super important, and that's where we get the prize money, as Arthur mentioned as well. So we, as I've mentioned, you're building your sustainable green enterprise plan throughout the program, and you'll be able to submit your business a video pitch basically for your business, along with your business plan, an impact plan, and financial models that you'll be building over the program. So it's a competition. So we have a judging process, and then we're able to award the funds of US $5,000 each to the winning businesses. So typically we can, across the 6 countries, we've got 20 grants to give out for 2023, which is pretty exciting. Awesome. So that's the sort of structure of the program, and great to see a couple of comments. So yeah, that's a good reminder. So we'll get to comments and questions at the end of the slides. But if you do have questions as we go, please type them in the chat and we'll get to them later. Great. Now I'm just checking. Cynthia is back with us. I wonder maybe if this would be a good time now, Cynthia, if you'd like to give us a bit of your experience with the program as one of our wonderful greenpreneurs from Fiji. Cynthia, are you able to hear us? Or are you having some troubles with the network? Right, maybe she's still struggling. Maybe we can come back to her later. Okay, so I think Rashika will be able, as apparently got the audio issues sorted out, perhaps. So if you would like to carry on from this slide, please go ahead.
Hi everyone. I hope you can all hear me now. Sorry for this technical issue. I don't really know what happened. Yeah, so Who are we looking for? Well, this slide's got a lot here, and I'll just briefly run through this. So basically, if you're someone who would like to create positive environmental and social impact for your business, we'd love to have you apply for the program. We look for the business, if your business is innovative and unique, you're in early stage, and have basically already piloted or launched your business. You're dedicated, passionate about this whole thing, and you'd love to build an effective and sustainable business model for success. You would like to learn, connect, and share with like-minded greenpreneurs. Definitely, if for you to have internet and computer access, since our training is online, and we need you to be committed to be completing the 4-month program. And the program would be in English language, so we'd need you to be comfortable speaking and understanding English. And we're highly encouraging teens, women, youth, also those with disabilities to apply for this program. So as you can see, this very beautiful picture on the slide, so take the plunge. And we hope to see your applications coming in. And you can refer to our Pacific Greenpreneurs website for more information as well. Later in this slides, we would be sharing the details again. And now we'll move on to the timeline. In terms of the timeline, so as you can see here, the application window is open until the 30th of March. So the applications close for this cohort on the 30th of March. And as I mentioned earlier, we really want participants to be committed for 4 months, let's say beginning May and until the end of August. And then, so the time frame that we're looking at is 1 day or roughly 8 hours per week. And so the program is structured in a way whereby we would have a 2-day kickoff workshop, let's say around May, which we aim to have in-country workshops. And we have been lucky to be able to have that last year, as we did not have issues with COVID. And the coaching, training, and mentoring will run from late May until the end of July, while the business plan competition is going to be happening in August. And then that would bring us to the exciting moment of the graduation and showcase, whereby we would be announcing our winners for the 5K, US 5K in seed grants. Yeah. So that's our timeline for the program. We'll move on and look at the eligibility criteria. I did see that we had a question in the chat as well. So in terms of the eligibility criteria, the lead applicant must be from Fiji, Kiribati, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, Tonga, and Vanuatu, as those are the countries that we are covering. And the enterprise must operate and be intended to operate as a for-profit business in one of these countries. And we would like you to show us the social and environmental issues that you're trying to address. And then not forgetting the minimum age of the lead applicant being 18 years old. So now let's look at the assessment criteria, just to give you a better understanding on what really we are looking at when we're assessing the applications. So you can see these 4 criteria here, and the selection panel will score and rank applications according to the predetermined assessment criteria. And when we say green business focus, we'd like you to make it clear to us the environmental and social issue that you're trying to solve in your community, country, even in the region. And why are you passionate about it? Please be specific of what you're doing. For example, let's say, not to say improving the environment, but rather to say reducing waste in landfill by repurposing something. So that really explains us properly on what really you're trying to achieve from a business. We'd want you to have an entrepreneurial mindset, which should be assessed on. And we want people who are passionate, eager to learn, you'd love to build your networks, you'd want to learn and share and make a positive difference in the world. And also, we'd want you to be committed and willing to put in the hard yards to build your business, which is also one of the criteria. And then we have the social inclusion part of the assessment criteria. We want to see how you're supporting women, youth, people with disabilities, and also those in remote areas with your business. And what I really want to stress here is, please make it easy for us to see how you are a green business and that you are also generating a profit. And not to forget that what problem are you really looking at solving? So we hope that's clear. And now let's go to how to apply. I'm sure you all have been looking at the social media post, and you've seen the application form. If you haven't, then do so, and you can complete the Google form link by 30th March 2023. And you can see the application link over here. And we've also put up the postcard that has also been posted on social media. So, and if you have more information, you'd like to get more information on the incubator program, please do go to our website. And I highly encourage and suggest that also go through the guidelines and the FAQs, which will really give you a good understanding of about this program. And it will really assist you in putting in a good application through. So that brings me to the FAQs. But before that, I'll just quickly check. I think we have lost Cynthia, who, I'm sorry, I don't really know what really happened, and who hasn't been able to actually speak. Okay, let me check if there's any other participant who has been on the program and who would like to say a few words. Probably Teria, or I also see Mele. Any of our participants who'd like to say some words very quickly, sharing how you felt about the program, and also to inspire others who are here? Okay, I can see Mele has raised her hand. Please go ahead, Mele.
Hello, Falava, Pulavanaka. Hello, friends. I recently had a friend who graduated from the Pacific Greenpreneurs here in Samoa and had a really wonderful time. Her name's Agnes Fruin, and she has a business making purses and recycling fabrics. And she told me how great it was. And so I was really keen to learn more because I really like the idea of mentoring and being able to get business advice as well as this upskilling that's involved. So that's why I'm here. And I'm representing my father and my cocoa farm business called Cocoa Moni, and we're trying to adopt only green approaches to the way that we package and work on the farm, as well as creating an agro-tourism aspect of our business so that when tourists come, they can learn what we're doing. Thank you. Over.
Thank you very much, Mele. Lovely to hear from you. So we'll just now move on to the FAQs. And I'd like to hand it to Esther to take us through this. And Esther and I would basically be tagging teams on this one. So over to you, Esther.
Thanks, Rishika. Great. So just as a reminder, I see there's a couple of questions in the chat and we'll get to that shortly. But if you have any questions that you'd like to raise, now's your time to think about it. Either put it in the chat or you can raise your hand afterwards. So Excellent. So we just compiled a few, they're frequently asked questions from the program, particularly for the last few years. So the first one of which is, what is an early stage business? So because the incubator program I've just mentioned is focused on early stage. So what we're saying basically, a business is in the early stage, either when it's a business idea, you haven't yet started selling anything to anyone yet, or maybe you've got a pilot, you've got an idea, you've prototyped something, you've developed something and you're testing it with your friends and family or something like that. It could be that kind of a stage. Or it could be that you are already set up as a business, you are already selling, but probably at a very small stage, probably in your first 1 to 2 years of operations. Maybe you're selling at local markets, you could be selling to friends or family, online, but you're pretty small. You could be registered as a business in your country, like through whichever your relevant business registration system is, but you do not have to be formally registered to apply to the program. What we will ask you will have to, before you complete the business plan competition, you will have to formally register by that stage. So if you're accepted into the program, you then need to start the process of registering, but you don't have to be registered at the point when you apply for the program. Great. Actually, that's just kind of answered the next FAQ, which I kind of got ahead of myself. So just to stress again, you don't have to yet be formally registered. The program, if you're accepted into the program, which as Rashika showed on the timeline, would begin in May, and the business plan competition submissions would be several months later. So you have a few months that you could apply for your business to be registered. Great. Okay. And then the third question is, how do I access the grant funding? Which is, of course, a question that is very important to a lot of people joining the program, of course, right? As mentioned, the seed grant funding, it is given out to the winners of the business plan competition. So after the training is completed, throughout the training, you'll be putting together, different parts of your business plan. And by the end of the 4 months, then you'll have time to put together the aspects of the business plan and your business pitch, your video pitch that you will submit to us. And then we have basically independent panel of judges from across the region who will be assessing the applications. So based on the timeline, we expect the winners will be announced during the graduation events, and that will be in September 2023. And then of course there's a little bit of paperwork you need to fill in so that we can actually send you the money, and so that would be after the graduation. And yes, we'll be awarding 20 seed grants of $5,000 US each for this cohort 2023. Okay, and with that, I'll hand over to Rashika for the next couple of FAQs, and then we'll take some questions.
Thank you, Esther. So next question is, how will the online learning work? So we use an online portal which is called the Moodle Cloud. So each enterprise would be provided an access to that, and the course materials for each of the 12 units modules will be available on the portal. And during the orientation sessions, participants would be shown on how to use the portal, and the enterprises would have access to it, and we will be expected to read the material and also submit the exercises online each week. And participants are responsible for arranging their own access to internet and computer laptops to complete these requirements. So please note that this is a regional program, and all course materials and exercise submissions are in English language. So moving on. Next is, we have been getting these questions a lot. So can I apply if I've applied for the 2021 and 2022 Pacific Greenpreneurs Incubator Program? Well, if you have applied and did not participate in the program, you're most welcome to apply in 2023, provided that you meet the eligibility criteria. And kindly note that the enterprises who already participated in the previous cohorts are not eligible to reapply for the same business idea. So what we're saying here is, if you have a different business idea and would like to apply, then yes, definitely you can apply. And so that brings us to the questions time. And I'd like to open the floor for questions and see who all would like to ask some questions. Let me quickly just go through some of the questions. I can see Namrata had asked, I'm very much interested in being part of this and to be a member, and what are the requirements? I believe these, she had asked this before we had covered the eligibility criteria. So just to go back, the eligibility criteria is basically you'll need to be part of one of our beneficiary countries, which is Fiji, Kiribati, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, Tonga, and Vanuatu. And the enterprise, your business must be a green business wanting to solve an environmental or social issue. And so you need to demonstrate the green focus, and the minimum age is 18 years of age. I hope that's okay. And okay, we have a comment from Jerry. So thank you for the comment. And we have Heather Panua, who's asking, how do we apply? I had put in the link in the chat box. I'll post the form link again. And you can also visit our website. We'll post the link for the website as well. Okay, we have Jerry who's asking, seed grant funds of 5,000 will be used on what particular areas? So, and can you give priority to those who attend training and attend your workshops? Esther, would you want to take this one?
Sorry, just struggling for the mute button. So, okay, great. So sure. Thanks, Jerry, for the question. So in terms of what the seed grant funding can be used for, you will be asked to tell us. It has to be used for your business, for the aim of growing your business. But in terms of what areas of your business you're using it for, that is, it's up to you to tell us what it is. So often our previous winners have been using it for perhaps buying particular pieces of equipment that are needed to either start or to grow their businesses, or it could be for buying some stock or inventory. It could be for salaries for employees, or you know, it's up to you. You just need to explain to us what you're using it for. And the second question, can you give priority to those who attend training and attend your workshop? So we do look at we do consider the attendance to some degree, but we also are looking more, we're more intending to prioritize submissions of exercises. So as mentioned, there will be this Moodle platform where you'll submit exercises online, and you'll be asked to submit them by a certain deadline, and you'll need to submit those, you know, by those deadlines to be able to complete the program. And also meet your requirements for the coaching and mentoring as well to be able to graduate. Hope that answers the question. I just want to check if Rashika wanted to add anything to that.
No, all good, Esther. Thank you for that. Yeah, so we have another question that is on, are there any restrictions to what the funds can be used for? Mele, and to all the others. So you would be putting in your business plan competition, you would be stating what do you want to use the funds for. Basically, it would have to be for your business, and how would you want to grow your business using those funds, or how would that contribute to the growth and expansion of your business? So based on that, we would be approving on what you really need to use it for. So so I would say there are limitations. I mean, you cannot really say that, okay, I want to go on a holiday, right? So yeah, it depends on what you put up in your business plan competition. And then you would be putting that into the seed grant agreements.
Thanks. I guess what one doesn't want to do is put in something there that would not meet the requirements of the grant. So if there was these are things we would definitely not support, then obviously it would save us the process of putting in something that wouldn't need to be there or shouldn't be there. Over.
Okay, thank you. So,
and I'm going to assume nobody's getting a grant for a holiday. So, you know, that's a fun example, but it's not a realistic example.
Okay, so for the business plan competition, that would be submitted after the end of the 12-week program. And so during the 12 modules program, you would basically be able to understand and see what all you would be able to put into the business plan competition. So a lot of guidance would be provided when putting that request in.
I'd like to just jump in there as well, Rishika. Yeah, thanks for the question, Mele. We don't have any, yeah, I think it's kind of within reason. There's not specific categories that we can't fund, apart from things like it can't be anything illegal, of course, you know, that there are certain things like that, which of course would be caveats, but it's not like you can't fund, you know, we could fund for salaries, we could fund for stock, we could fund for, you know, equipment purchase. It's, yeah, I don't think there's really any, you know, legitimate areas of business that we, that the 5,000 couldn't be used for. I hope that helps.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Esther. So we have another question on, I'm running from Rossi. I'm running a separate business from my husband. Can we apply separately or it has to be a women entrepreneur? Just to answer that, so the program is, I mean, all males and females are both welcome to apply for the program. And so you can definitely apply together or separately. It can depend on how you'd like to do this. Then we have a comment from Jerry. I have a program on tree planting and terrestrial protections and part of conservations, which require larger grant funding. Let me know if your organization can assist. Well, for this one, it depends on the size of the business. And I think this would not be covering having a for-profit. So in all this in our applications, we are looking at businesses that are generating a profit and or looking at generating a profit. So Jerry, probably I wouldn't really be able to tell you whether you're eligible for this or not, as we need to understand this a bit better and see that what are you really, are you trying to generate a profit in some way or not? Then we have Amin Pal, who's asking, is vegetable farming activities with smart agriculture practices a green entrepreneur? I would say yes, but you would need to show us how exactly, what social and or environmental problem are you trying to resolve? And then we would definitely be assessing that. Okay, we've got Rajan Sami who's sending us thank yous. So thank you, Rajan, for also joining. And we have another question from Carria, who's asking Blue Economy Climate Accelerator funding and incubator funding can be the same for a drinking water solution. I'm not really able to understand this question. Maybe Esther, if you've understood differently.
Yeah, let me just jump in here. Curio, that's a good question. I think if it's for the same business idea, let us get back to you on that. So just for other people's benefit, we also run the Blue Economy Climate Accelerator in the Pacific program. So we'll maybe just need to double check whether it would be whether it would be beneficial for you to join the incubator as well, or maybe it'd be worth to look at the accelerator program. Which has larger grant funding. So it can come back to, if it's for the same business idea, which I think is what you're saying for your drinking water solutions. So I'll come back to you individually on that one. Okay.
Thank you, Esther. So Kelvin, who's asking Solomon Islands is not a recipient to this program. Is there any reason? Well, there's no particular reason for this. We feel bad that Solomons is not part of it, and we've been getting a lot of interest from Solomons. But the program design only had the 6 beneficiary countries, so we're hoping that in future we would be able to cover Solomons as well. Okay, we're getting thank you from Keria, and Jerry's asking, what about green awareness and training programs? So I believe you're referring to a business idea as green awareness and training programs. Jerry?
Sure, so maybe I could jump in there.
Yes.
So sure, Jerry, yes, sure. So I think mainly as Rashika has mentioned, what we need to see from the applications is that the reason what we're focused on, small business, and you have to have a profit focus, is we strongly believe that to be sustainable in the longer term and to make greater impact, we need to work with have businesses that can keep going, right? So not just a grant that then finishes, but grants will be given that can then generate an increase and grow businesses through profit, right? That's our focus through our program. So if you can show us how through your green awareness and training programs, what's your business model in terms of how will you get more funding, and will you be operating as you can have a for-profit of your business section, and then you can also have a section that's planting, that's relying on grants to plant trees, or I'm not sure if that's properly representing your business or not. That's completely fine. What we want to be able to see is how we can work with you to develop and grow that business model so you can be sustainable, right? So yeah, if you can show that to us in your application, then and to show us the environmental and social impact that you're going to be creating, and also how your business is going to be generating revenue, right? Then that would be definitely eligible if you can meet the other eligibility criteria.
Thank you, Esther. So we have Amin Pal, who's asking, what is the program really focusing to help under greenpreneurs? So basically the aim of the program it's designed for green entrepreneurs to build a sustainable business model. And so we provide the skills, assistance with developing your tools, and also the confidence to implement your business idea. And we use the social lean canvas as basically we base the training on the social lean canvas. So we'll also be sharing the recording with all those who had registered and also those who are here. So you would be able to go through the recording as well to hear more about the part that you were not able to hear earlier. Thank you for that. Okay, so do we have any more questions before we wrap up? Okay, we have Jerry, who's asking, can you give some examples of past funded programs? Esther, would you like to cover this one?
Sure. Well, I'm not sure if she's able to talk, but poor Cynthia, I think she must be having trouble with her internet. I'm just going to shout out in case she's able to talk, then she could give an example with her business. Cynthia, if your internet is working, would you like to give us?
Hi, I'm here.
Ah, great. Awesome. Please, if you could tell us a little bit about your business and what you've maybe used the grant funding for, that would be wonderful. And yeah, maybe a little bit about your experience with the program would be great.
Yeah. So my business is Infinity Advertising Style Maya. But I use the grant funding for my Style Maya. It is the first breastfeeding fashion line in Fiji. So I've used it to buy fabrics and to pay tailors. And I've used it to buy sewing machine, and also I've used it for my accounts, to open bank account and to pay like to do VAT registration, and also to buy a lot of materials for the fashion line. And I learned a lot with this program, like about the social lean canvas, about your mission vision, about the social impact. So my social impact that I wanted to do was to help breastfeeding mompreneurs to have the correct fashion line. So even if they're breastfeeding, they look fashionable and comfortable. So all my fabrics are stretchable, all have deep pockets. And has helped me realize what's my unique features. So the unique features of my products is that it is a functional that you can use from singlehood to motherhood, from breastfeeding to being a cancer, to cancer treatment. You can use it. And so most of the grant funding I receive is very useful, especially the mentorship, especially the financial planning of your financial planning. They guide you. They also guide you on how to present to investors using how to do a presentation to investors. So it's been very useful because I got some donor funding too from other people through all the things that I learned from this program. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Cynthia, and thanks for persevering. I know you were having trouble and dropping in and out, so thanks very much for being able to share. So, okay, so great. So I think hopefully that answers the question a little bit in terms of examples of past funded programs. So Arthur, I think has dropped off now, but Arthur, who you heard from a little bit earlier, he has he builds robotics for cleaning solar panels. I hope I'm getting this right. He cleans solar panels in Tonga to make them more efficient, more energy efficient. So that's another example. It's a much more technology innovative one. We have quite a range of sectors who have been funded. Ecotourism, like adventure tourism, operators. We've also had solar energy, people selling solar energy kits in Kiribati, for example. We've had people doing waste management and recycling. We've had people making reusable nappies, reusable pads and hygiene products. We've had people doing, lots of people with agribusinesses. So perhaps, doing something like hydroponics or other, or connecting people with cooperatives, for example, in perhaps cocoa value chain or something like that. So there's plenty of different sectors, plenty of different types of businesses who have been already funded by the program. I think Mele mentioned earlier her friend in Samoa, Agnes, who was also a winner of through the program, doing bags and beautiful bags and products that she creates in Samoa. So what is really you need to tell us in your applications, please make it very clear for us as we hopefully will be going through a lot of applications, and we really want to see how your business is making a positive difference on the world, whether it's to save the environment, take some action on climate change, to help poverty alleviation, so help communities lift themselves out of poverty, or whatever it is, right? Like, just make it as clear for us as you can, and then you make our jobs easier to bring you into the program. I hope that helps. Okay, so there's follow-up question from Jerry. So basically, as I just mentioned, so any sector can be, you can be in any sector and be a green business. It's really what's the purpose of your business? Are you impact driven? What is the change you're going to be, you are or going to be making? So you're either an environmentally focused business or a socially focused business, or across anything. So I've just mentioned a whole bunch of different sectors. I hope that's clear. Great. I think Mele's got her hand up. Would you like to say something, Mele?
Just I'm wondering if we have to have a registered business, like does it need to have registration in country, etc. as a business? We have a strange situation here in Samoa where when you're in the agricultural sector, you don't always have to be registered because it's not a taxable situation. We are registered as a business, but I just didn't know if that was something that would be mandatory in terms of your application. Over.
Sure. Thanks, Mele, and thanks for clarifying. I wasn't aware of that situation in Samoa for agribusinesses. So you don't have to be registered to apply for the program, because we understand some businesses are even just in the idea stage, not yet selling, right? So you wouldn't necessarily have to be set up formally. But we do say that by the business plan competition, so by the time we're going through and we want to see that you are basically, the registration would be a bit of proof to us that you're serious about taking your business forward should you be successful and win. So that's why we do say you need to be registered at the stage of the business plan competition. I forget if it's July or August, but you would basically have several months to, once you know that you're accepted into the program, to work on the paperwork to get registered if you're not already registered.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Great. Okay, so another question from Amin. Individual business or company is eligible or is association and community development-based organizations can apply. Okay, so typically it's normally only individual businesses or companies, unless you can show us. There are some, we have had some participants who are, a cooperative or something. If they can show us that they're focused on for-profit, that's the, you're having a business model, you're planning to raise revenue, or you are already, making sales, having revenue. That's the key for us. So if you're not technically speaking a business, but you have another registered as a cooperative or something like that, and you are still profit focused in that way, then that can still be eligible. Okay, and then Cynthia says for Style Maya, socially focused, helping mompreneurs, having a functional fashion line in an environmentally focused way, and using leftover fabrics for baby clothes and scrunchies and that kind of thing, which is great. Thank you, Cynthia. Really great to have you on board. Starting as a great example of initially a socially impactful business, making a difference, particularly for mothers in a very underutilized, under-supported rather area of pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers, but also then taking on a great environmental focus as well. Don't see any further questions or any raised hands. So if there's any final questions, we could take that. I know we're 5 minutes over the hour, so I do understand some people have to drop off, but if there are further questions, we can stay on for another 5 minutes or so. What I will just mention, because I'm not sure if Rashika had mentioned, I may have missed it, is that we will be having a second information session next week. Rashika, I believe it's next Thursday at the same time as this session. And so that information session, okay, great. And that info session will show you, for those who have questions about how to complete the form. So we have a lot of questions in the form, which is to, to help us to assess, are you socially or environmentally impactful business? And so what we plan to do in the second session is to go through in more detail and show you sections on the form, give you some tips about how to fill it in, the kind of things that we're looking for. So if you're keen to apply, I mean, by all means, go ahead and apply already. But if you would like some further tips, then look out for that. We'll be sharing the link for that info session for next Thursday. Great. Okay, I'm not seeing anything else. So perhaps I'll hand over to Rashika if you want to close off the session.
Thank you very much, Esther. And so I was just thinking it might be a good idea to take a group photo. So I'd like to request all of you to turn on your cameras. And so we could take a quick group photo.
Great. And Rashika, you may want to stop sharing the screen as well.
Good. Camera. Oh.
Thanks, everybody. Just bear with us while we take some great shots. Oh. Awesome. Have we got a few, or how are we going? Do we need a few more seconds? Awesome.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So this brings us to the end. And on behalf of GGGI and the Pacific Green Entrepreneurs Network team, I'd like to convey our appreciation to our program donor, the Qatar Fund for Development, who's making this program possible, and also to our partners in the different countries who have been working well with us, helping to implement the program. And also, thank you so much to Arthur and Cynthia for joining in to share their experiences and the support that they have been providing towards the program. And I haven't forgotten you all, our lovely audience who have joined for this session. And that brings us to the end of the session. We would be emailing the recording and the slides for your references. And do look out for the a registration link for the next session that would be happening on Thursday at the same time, which is 1 p.m. PG time. And we are welcoming and encouraging all greenpreneurs out there to apply for this wonderful program. Thank you very much. Esther, would you like to add something else, or all good?
Well, no, thank you very much, everybody, for your time. Appreciate it. Everyone's busy, and we appreciate you giving up your time to join us today. Yeah, we look forward to getting lots of applications, as Rashika said. I can see there's one more, there's a hand up from Amin. So perhaps we can end the session here and we can stay on to answer his question. But yeah, I think we can end this here. So thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to seeing your applications and hopefully to see some of you guys next Thursday as well. Thanks.